Hello. Well, I don't see anybody here right now, but that's all right. I'm sure somebody will watch this later on. We decided to come on today. We got messy, bad, rainy weather where we are. And so we don't really know if this is going to broadcast or not, but we're going to give it a shot. Um, Hello, Maui. How are you? I'm good to see you. First in the house today. I was waiting to try to see if anybody was going to come on. Um, it's a rainy, messy night here tonight in southern Alabama, and I thought I'd come on for a little bit. Um, I was wondering, hello, there we go. Hello, Melmac. Good to see you. Says 7. Hello, Karen. How are you? Medina's outside with the pups. She's got an umbrella. It's a rainy, messy night here in southern Alabama. How many of y'all have went back and watched that Dateline covering the Barry Morphew case? If you have not, or 48 hours, I think it was 48 hours. If you have not watched it, I encourage you to go find somewhere and watch it. It was on a couple weeks ago. They are practically predicting that he is going to be found not guilty. They didn't come out and say it, but they said that, 48 hours. They said, hello, Dorothy. They said that the problem that the defense is putting in that the partial DNA on the glove box is what they're saying they're going to establish a reasonable doubt. And I think I've always said along that that is what I think they're going to do. I think, I think, in my opinion, he's guilty. But if you also, they said, they said also that during his preliminary hearing, the judge said that they didn't have enough evidence, that he felt like they were going to, that just what they presented was not enough to go to trial. So, but he said, looking at the whole case, and I think the only reason that he was bound over to trial is the judge actually was the one that did the arrest warrant, looked at the affidavit and did the arrest warrant. Um, if they had not had that judge, he probably would not be bound over for trial, in my opinion, on the evidence that they presented. Well, Matt, I don't think they came out and said, look, I don't think he's going to be found guilty, but they indicated that the DNA is going to be a huge factor. And I'm telling you, I have been in law enforcement all these years, and I've been around cases that we had a lot more evidence than what, you know, yeah, it could have been detailed, but just imagine yourself in the jury box, not knowing all the details of the case. And once they put out what I heard in the preliminary hearing, and then I also say, now, he he says, well, we've got this unknown DNA of this sexual offender that has hit in 3 or 4 different cities. All they got to have is one person to say, I doubt that there's some reasonable doubt here for me. Just one. If they can do that, they cause a mistrial or a hung jury, and is you can sure they can try them again, but a second trial, it could be something. Well, I mean, it could have come from a dealership, Joy, but listen, until they put their hands on that person, um, it's going to be, well, what, I mean, I haven't seen, I think he's guilty from what I've seen, but
Yeah.
Maui, what evidence are you talking about? Because they didn't present much in the prelim. They've got his phone went on airplane mode. He was moving around the house. They found this dart thing in his thing. His DNA was not on the dart casing. Her DNA was. Um, it's just a lot of stuff. It's circumstantial case, but all they need to do is create some reasonable doubt, some people to wonder what really happened in this case. Um, just some doubt. They don't have to. They don't, Maggie. Uh, they don't have to say remove all doubt. They just got to. Yeah, her text. Hold on a minute. My dog's been outside, and if you've been around a dog that has gotten wet or something, Maggie's just like wallowing all over the couch. Maggie. She's got your side of the chair wet, Dana. Um, they don't have to remove all doubt. They just have to have a reasonable doubt. And that's what worries me. Listen, if it was up to me and I was the district attorney's office, I would not try this case right now. Not until they figure out. There you go, Dina. It's on here.
Yeah, but Dina's been in the rain.
Not until they figure out. So I just don't. There's to me that's a huge factor. I'd want to find that person or find out where it possibly could have obtained. Obtained. It's just a big, huge monkey wrench to me thrown in it. Now a little bit of something, and you'll see. Me and Dana. Me and Dana went out bike riding the last few days, and Dina had a little accident on the bike.
I had one accident. Wait, I had one accident, and caused that.
She caused that.
And then I went about 2 miles down the road, and I had another accident and caused that with knees
and then she
everything.
fell after taking the dog for a walk and fell and hit her face. So
no, get down.
I'm going to show you a picture of that in a little bit if I can find it. But we're going to make a video of that in the next.
Somebody was following me with the camera going, and I promise you, I did not do this on purpose.
Later on on our other channel, said there's been a lot of videos come out since that lived in Colorado 35 years and have ever seen 82 chipmunks. And Barry said he shot that many big lions. Yeah, I agree with you, Dorothy. I have my problems with that, but listen, let me just be the devil's advocate a minute, okay?
He's good at that, y'all.
I mean, first off, let me say ahead of time, I think he's guilty, but I don't think they can prove it. And here's why. It's not, I mean, how are you going to go from shooting chipmunks to killing his wife? I mean, what evidence do they have? Now, I don't see any hardcore evidence. They don't have any DNA other than the DNA on the thing that belongs to this partial that belongs to this sex offender that is attacked in 3 different states. that creates a
You bet.
huge big thing for reasonable doubt. Uh, sure, he was shooting chipmunks and he was walking around the house and everything, but I mean, come on, tell me something. Do we have, you know, sure, he had motive. He had motive. He knows she was cheating on him. That's right. He had motive. He had opportunity. That's the two things. But we need a little bit more than motive and opportunity. We don't have a confession. We don't have a smoking gun, you might say. We don't have DNA on the helmet. We have unknown DNA found on the bicycle,
But not his, from
not
what I
his.
understand.
Have a sex offender's DNA on the interior of her car.
Well,
I'm just saying, if I was the defense attorney, and that's what I've heard they're going to do, they're going to put the DNA out there as saying, "Hey, what's your evidence? What is the state's evidence?" I mean, you got to have, the biggest thing that they're going to say is, and I hope they can convince a jury. Here's my problem. They're going to say, sure, he left before he said he left. He did stop off and drop off stuff at different trash cans. We believe that is evidence. That's bad for him. I'm going to tell you.
change clothes
That
9 times.
changed clothes a bunch of times. That's bad for him. But it doesn't prove he killed her. And this is the thing. The biggest thing they're going to do is they're going to say, uh, you know, here we got this unknown DNA on the bicycle. It's not his DNA, unknown. That's one. And then he'll say he's got a unknown sex offender that is hitting 3 or 4 states on her glove box. Listen, if they could have done if they could have, and then they got the CBI agent that can't testify because he's not credible anymore. So let's hope he didn't have a some big time evidence, because he's not going to be able to be sworn in and be believable in this case. So, um, yeah, I agree with you, Mel Mac. It's crazy, but this case, to me, even though I want to see him go to jail, I think it's too soon to try him, because here's my worry about this thing. I worry that they're going to find him not guilty, or it's going to have a hung jury, because if they do that, he can. If you find him not guilty, he can never be tried again. I mean, he could come right after the trial, walk out on the front steps and say he did it, and say, "Look, I'm gonna, just gonna tell you he did it," and that's it. You couldn't do nothing about it. Sure, they could sue him, and that's probably what the family would do in that case, and take him for a couple $1 million. But first off, he's not going to do that. He's a narcissistic personality, but I'm just wanting to see some evidence. I want to see that they have more than just a bunch of a phone being put on air mode, a fact that he um, walked around the house and there's confusion where he's shooting these things or not, and he threw trash away at different places. I want to see more than just that. There's a lot of circumstantial. If they find the body, that'd be huge. If they find the body, now, I think that they had one of the I watched. AK had a huge amount of videos that he downloaded from. I'm thinking the court put out, or somebody had a Freedom of Information Act that got a bunch of that stuff. And I'm not going to put them on this site. I'm going to encourage you to go over to AK's site and watch them, because he's did a real good job of that. It's just, I understand that there are some. I think maybe AK or somebody else says that they need to search on the hillside where a bunch of mines are up in that area. Maybe that somebody can prove that maybe she was put inside a mine or something like that. I don't know about that, but I'm very fearful that they're going to create a bunch of reasonable doubt. And
Brittany says it's weird that she kept thinking he was cheating on her and it was her who was cheating.
yeah, but I mean, sure, it he's cheating on her, her's cheating on him, whoever knows. I mean that sure, you know, that really is hurts him because he finds out she's cheating on him. He comes in a rage. He could probably, they can establish motive, opportunity to do something. But my thing is, you throwing in a if I'm the defensive attorney, they've said already, we are going to this. When you got a unknown partial DNA unknown suspect that's a rapist and a raping in three, and it doesn't. It's just a partial, but it was enough to when you put that into CODIS that it came out with a.
But Maui says
know,
it's not a sex offender; it was a relative.
Well, it's not what they're saying. They're saying they don't know who this is. The DNA, they do not have a name under that DNA. That it was a person. Hello, Karen. That a person in the CODIS when they entered the DNA into CODIS, that it came out a partial DNA hit for an unknown rapist that hit in Phoenix, Chicago, and one other place. I don't remember exactly where it is. But so, if they don't know who this DNA belongs to, other than the partial of the DNA was for this rapist offender, unknown.
Yeah, there were marital problems. Most
Yeah.
definitely.
But 50% of the marriages in the U.S. ended in divorce. So yes,
Wait a
there was
minute.
marital problems.
That's only if you take into account the people that are married 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Not one time, but more than one.
Yeah.
If you take one-time marriages, it's 80% stay married.
Yeah. Mal, you say yes, but it's a relative, not exact match.
So it's a relative of the sex offender,
right?
But not an exact match.
Well, it's not an exact match, but it is a partial. So I don't know. It's just
or that's how I read that. I don't know.
It's enough to create some reasonable doubt in it anyway.
What are you doing, Mag? You trying to peep under the window?
Yeah, and she's mad because you won't let you took her seat.
Well, she's a muddy mess.
Yeah.
I tried to dry her off. Did you see her fighting me over there?
Yeah, you're right. If they do a genealogy, back trace it, but
takes time.
It does not.
Gulf Coast Girl says could be DNA, but could be DNA be from a previous vehicle owner?
It could, but I mean, we don't know how long the DNA would last inside the vehicle, but that's what I would say. If I was the prosecutor, I would say we don't know whose DNA it is, but we don't. It could have been previous owner, it could have been a mechanic, but the defense is going to sit back and say, "You're right. You don't know whose DNA it is. It may be the guy that did this." That's what they're going to say. But I just think that they will have a lot of experts. They will have a lot of people explaining, but with the current atmosphere of people don't trust the police, they don't trust evidence to go where evidence that the police take, then I'm worried that they'll get that one person on the jury that is already thinking, well, do we want to put somebody in jail for the rest of their life because all of this circumstantial thing. So let's just hope and pray that the police have got more evidence to present than we heard in the prelim, because I didn't hear anything in the prelim that would, if I would have been that judge, you know, anything I heard in the prelim, I wouldn't have bound him over. I'll just tell you, it would never ever had been bounded over trial in the county that I worked in on that type of prelim. It was a huge, like, pages and pages document, but they didn't. To me, they didn't have anything. But I hope they do. I hope they can convince people that they do, and maybe still, um, they'll find her. Maybe somebody will be out there and happen up on her, which would be probably bones by now, but would be able to find DNA or something through the bones, and then find that evidence or whatever. Yes, it is a mess, and that's what I'm saying. I think they may be. I hope that they have more evidence. I don't know if I mean y'all tell me, if you had to think of evidence right now that you've seen, what do you see that's going? Do you think is going to cause? Would you want to have the jury here that would convince them that he's guilty? Um, the story told proves he's guilty. What? But just tell me one fact that proves he's guilty. That's the thing with our system is we've got to be sure before we put people in prison for the rest of their life. We got to be sure. So I want to say, um, yeah, well, unfortunately now bad acting doesn't is not evidence. They can't even talk about that. Bad acting, webcam shoes, some bad acting, they can speak about his mannerisms and all that, and but um, you know,
Karen says, in my opinion, the prosecutor does have enough evidence. All the evidence has to be taken into consideration. Prosecutors will have DNA experts, and defense will too.
yeah, I agree with that, but uh,
Linda said, I agree with Tommy. I think prosecutors got overconfident. I think Suzanne is no longer a body. I think he used something to dissolve her remains.
what scares me when you think about Breaking Bad. If you go watch the movie Breaking Bad, and that you know in the movie, I don't know if y'all saw it, but they use
I didn't.
hydrochloric acid to dissolve people in a a, a plastic barrel, and supposedly, and I read some stuff on it that is true. And so, who knows where she's at. um I think probability that he didn't go that far. I could see him maybe taking her and putting her down a mine shaft,
He'd
or
have had to
something
think
like
far enough
that.
ahead to get that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he probably could, though. um yeah, I'm sure that what they're going to do is this: that the prosecution's going to say, we've got a woman, a battered, physically battered woman, telling her friend on the phone, this, he's battered me. I'm wanting a divorce. He says he's never going to give me a divorce. He's threatened me and all this. The prosecution is, and then the defense is going to say, but did he tell the friend that she was having the affair with the guy for like a year, or what, over like this, for a year? How do we know she was not lying to her friend? friend because she never told her friend about this affair, and when he worked, did she have a chance to leave? See, that's the biggest thing people will say about uh, battered women. They'll say, why didn't you just leave? Well, a lot of women can't leave because they don't have any money. Their only resources and their only place to stay is where they live. They're without choice of that. But she had resources. I mean, she had money. She could have very well left.
Oh.
So I don't know.
BTK put people in barrels across the street from the church I used to go to in Missouri. That was crazy. Gulf Coast girl.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I agree. It was the ultimate insult to Barry, and that's why I think he ended up killing her. One is he knew she was going to get a divorce. There was money involved. He could get the maximum amount of money out of it if she was deceased. So that I mean, you don't have to convince me. You have to convince 12 people in that jury that don't know anything about this, and they're going to put a big time circumstantial case on. But I just I have seen a lot people with a lot more evidence go free because the jury didn't believe.
Simpson.
I mean, yeah. Look at well, I don't know the reason why, but you got Simpson. I mean, he had DNA all over that scene, blood on his shoes. He got all that, and they let him go. I mean, he's found not guilty. Um, it just worries me that um, one is the judge felt so strongly enough that they didn't think that there was enough doubt in there, so he granted the guy bond. I mean, he never didn't have to do that. If the judge saw all that evidence, he could say, you know what, I don't think we ought to let him out, and not let him out. You know. Karen, I 100% agree with you. Um,
Yeah, that's why you don't tell them you're leaving. You just leave.
yeah, I don't think that. I think it would have gone bad for her either way if she would have told him and left. But I just hope that the prosecution can prove it,
But if
and
he was
all
going
this
on
reasonable doubt.
if he was
You
going
know,
on jobs, he he would be gone, and she could have left. Maybe, I don't know.
I don't. I just hope that um, they can convince a jury, and then you got this CBI guy too. That's
Listen to the rain.
One thing too. I don't know if when you watch these, go over to AK's place site and watch when they when that they recovered the bicycle. One guy had on gloves and the other guy didn't. I mean, he held it by the back of the seat. He held it by the handlebars. By the handlebars, he was on rubber. You know,
Mary said, Tommy, the gloves didn't fit, remember?
yeah, uh,
Kind of hard to put gloves on a hand like
yeah,
this.
like this. I couldn't put any gloves on my hand, but a lot of people touch that bike, and I know Plunder has made a video talking about no gloves, but what they'll do, they should print that bicycle, and any prints they take out off the bicycle, then they'll compare it with anybody that might have touched it. They'll go out, they'll get the officer's prints, and they'll compare it to that and take his prints off. But I know they did find unknown DNA on the bike. That's what that is. Not the DNA from the sex partial sex offender. It was just an unknown DNA on the bike. Well, you say that. I don't have, that's not an issue to me of the unknown, because I say he probably was somebody that worked on the bike down at the bike shop. They need to go get everybody's
But why wasn't
everybody's prints
Barry's?
down there.
Why wasn't Barry's found on there when he said he had took the bike out for her one day?
Hey, you
Not
know,
too long before
I'm
that.
sure he had gloves on if he did anything with it. But
I'm gonna have gloves on next time I ride my bike.
yeah, you need to. But I don't know. It's just a lot of doubt to me. Yeah. Um, you know, I don't know. It's a. I saw a lot of stuff um
Yeah,
on that films, all those films that I can sit back and say, um, I probably wouldn't have done it that way if I was answering the call. If I had been the officer on the scene and found the bicycle down the hill, and then you can't find her, there's some things. Do we? One thing I saw was, why didn't the officer? He had a cell phone with him. Why didn't he take some pictures of where the bike was found and the whole area where it was found with his camera? Then it's just good police work.
Maui said, Are they going to argue multiple people tried to kidnap her?
Look, they don't have to argue anything like that. All they got to do is say this, and then you can watch. This is, I bet you money that this is what they say. We don't know what happened to her. We just know Barry's DNA wasn't on the bicycle. It wasn't. We just know Barry's DNA wasn't on the glove box, but we can tell you a partial DNA that was somebody that, if that had been a partial DNA of unknown, that would be great. But when you throw in there a partial DNA of a unknown rapist, sex offender from 3 different cities, that is, I don't care if it's just partial. It's huge in causing reasonable doubt. It is. And
Maui said, I think
I don't know.
they just made small town mistakes and thought it was her injured.
Look, there's no doubt that I believe that Barry did it. And just by, there's a huge amount of circumstantial evidence. But we don't know all of the interviews they've done and why they didn't have somebody testify to that in the preliminary hearing. I don't know. Yeah, I heard that in the thing that she would usually take her car and then get out on the bike trail. And yes, I'm sure that Barry knows exactly where the body's at. That's my opinion, but you're I'm just saying, I'm playing devil's advocate here. If you were sitting on the jury and you were waiting on the prosecution to say, you know, this is the evidence I have, they usually say it in prelim. In the prelim, they usually say, I mean, let's just, for instance, if I had done a search warrant on a home where we seized 10 pounds of cocaine, I would start off in the preliminary hearing by saying, the DA would say, you were at this location on this date. Tell me what happened. Yeah, we went out and served a search warrant at this address. It's a blue house. It's located on the corner of Main and C Street. And we entered forcibly through the front door. We went in and found the guy that we arrested there. We gave him a copy of the search warrant. We conducted the search, and this is what we found. He was arrested, taken in, interviewed, admissions, not admissions, asked for a lawyer, all this kind of stuff. In this prelim, I didn't see any of that, and this what bothered me. I read that whole document. There's a lot of things in there that build a circumstantial case, but um, I just I just don't I don't know.
Gulf
I'm
Coast Girl
just
says,
afraid that they don't have enough.
Gulf Coast Girl says, do we know if they swapped BM scratches for DNA? He had scratches, deep scratches on his
I
arm.
don't think so because I don't even know if you could do that because if you put one, see DNA comes off with skin cells. That's how they get DNA from you, or inside your mouth. They're getting your skin cells is how they get the DNA. So if they swab the scratches, you're going to get his skin cells. I don't know
And
if
probably
they do.
hers, but because I mean they've got everything's all over everybody.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm sure I got skin cells of yours on me. We sleep in the same bed, and our clothes get washed together.
yeah.
And
Um, remember the defense does not have to prove that he didn't do it. You got to remember that. The defense does not have to prove he didn't do it. They have to create reasonable doubt. That's it. Not all doubt, just reasonable doubt. What a reasonable person would consider to be doubt. That's it. The prosecution has to prove that he did it. That's the thing.
Maddie said, "Do you think he could have paid people off? And is there a conflict of interest of the county doing that when he was a volunteer firefighter?"
I don't think it's a conflict of interest because if I was to see back when I was in narcotics, if I had found a fireman that was doing drugs, it wouldn't be a conflict of interest if I arrested him. Um, how when the defense can dominated that preliminary or prelim that PM afternoon. I tell you, I don't know. These are just worries that that I have. Uh,
I also would like to know what Barry would have told law enforcement if they would have given him immunity.
you can't give the
You don't
guy
want to
that
give him immunity.
you don't give a guy that you suspect of committing murder immunity. I mean, you know what I mean? That's crazy.
Not unless he's going to
Um,
give up a whole. Well, I don't
no,
know.
there's no way. Sure, he could probably tell the story if he's at. See, that's the problem. You can't even tell that in court, and you got to remember they can't. The prosecution cannot tell the jury or presented in court anything that's going to be prejudicial towards the defense. In other words, like um, all right, just for instance, and I don't know, I'm not saying this about this case, but I had a case, and I told y'all, I told some of the y'all about this a long time ago. I had a case when I was in patrol before I went to narcotics, where they sent me down to a parking lot where a guy was exposing himself to women, and when they came out to their car, he was exposing himself, sitting in basically naked inside his truck. And when I went there, I found him. He was in his underwear, and I had him talking to him through the window. I could tell he was intoxicated, and I had him step out of his vehicle, and he had his keys in the ignition. So I arrested him for DUI under physical control. When we went to court, I could not tell the jury anything, a reason why I was there to begin with, why I was dispatched to the parking lot, what the information I had. I couldn't tell them anything from that because that would prejudice the jury. And so but I talked to the jury after the case. He was found guilty. And they said, we figured it was something more then you just happened up on him because he was found. You asked him to step out of the truck and he was in his underwear. They were smart enough to see that. But there may be some things in this case that are things that they can't bring up because they will I don't know, they would prejudice the jury. I don't know. I can't think of any right now, but they may be, you know.
Somebody said up there, Barry asked if he revealed something if they would give him immunity. Ellie said no. So my question is why Barry thought he would need immunity.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he was stupid and thought, well, if they give me immunity, I'll tell them everything that really happened and where the body's at and everything. I don't know. I don't know. It's the thing is, here's one thing too, when the you have to worry about this, you have to wonder why the defense is asking for them to speed up the trial. They have a right. Sixth Amendment guarantees you a speedy trial. But usually the defense wants to continue. I know of a murder trial right now, where the guys was arrested. It's been 5 years, and they hadn't been to trial yet. 5 years, and it was just a simple thing. People got angry. Somebody had a fight. The guy got shot and killed. 5 years, and the defense is saying, I asked one of the relatives, you heard anything? He said, the defense is just saying, continue, because people retire, people are hard to get hold of, witnesses get, their memories are gone, uh, you know. But this defense wants the trial in April or even before then. He wants as soon as possible. Now, why is that? One is the longer it goes on, the more chances are maybe they find her body, and because he doesn't see the evidence much evidence that prosecution has right now. So he's wanting to, let's get it over with. Let's get it over with, you know?
I don't.
So that may be it.
Gulf Coast Girl says, can't the prosecution get the youngest daughter to testify about the turmoil in the home? Can they testify against be forced to testify against their dad?
They can call him to testify, but she can lie too. I'm not saying she would, but
but can she be compelled to testify against her dad?
mm,
Because a wife can't be compelled to testify against her husband, and a husband
yeah,
can't be compelled. So I didn't know if children could be compelled.
I I put it this way. I don't think I would call her as a witness just for fear that what she would say. What they say is never ask a question unless you know the answer.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what I've been told. Never ask a question unless you know the answer. Because if you don't want to get surprised up there, you could call her up there and say, did they have a hostile type? Did they have a bad relationship? And she could just say, out of love for her father or whatever, she could say, no, they were in love. They never fought. I mean, anything could happen. I'm not saying they would, but anything could happen.
Remember the defense attorney that asked you about wanting to know because they thought you were prejudiced?
Yeah, accused me of being prejudiced against Asians. You know what? He didn't know I have a daughter that's Asian. It just shot him in the foot. See, never ask a question you don't know the answer to.
It was
I don't think that they're going to do that. I would be very surprised. Sure, they could call the children, I think, but I don't see them doing it. I really don't. Now, if they say the defense calls one of the daughters to go up and say what a loving relationship that Barry had and how he's a great father and how all this kind of stuff, then the prosecution can go on the attack and say, well, he's such a great father. Have you ever seen him, arguing with your mother? Have you been in screaming in the house? Has it blah, blah, blah? But when you do that, you know that her loyalty lies with the father, and you never know what they're going to say.
Okay, so here's the thing. Amber said, I heard the defense ask that his voter fraud charge not be brought up in this trial, and I think it was granted by the judge. He has a voter fraud charge?
I don't have any idea
I
what
hadn't
that's
heard that one.
about.
Y'all know something I don't know.
That could be because he voted in a county that he didn't live in or something like that.
Gulf Coast Girl says, would it be like a hostile witness? I think that if you ask his daughters to testify
Well, I
against
mean,
him,
if you ask the daughter a question and she indicates something that I just go with the point. Never ask a question, don't know the answer to.
Oh, Allie Cattail says he voted for Suzanne for Trump.
Oh, okay.
Because he voted for Suzanne.
Okay.
He used Suzanne's vote and voted for her.
Oh, he voted for Trump on her.
Great. That's all Trump people need is another guy like him.
Okay. Well, I'm going to get into something else because we think it's important that we always cover the missing. And as this trial gets closer, we'll discuss some other stuff.
And y'all, in looking up a bunch of stuff, it is shocking to see how many are being found deceased.
Yeah.
It's awful.
And we want to again touch on Olivia Fowler. She has not been found.
She's not. She's the one that was walking down the road and just disappeared.
And disappeared. She's not been found as of yet. This little guy, Dana, you had him, and I read it, but all this other stuff I've forgotten. It is hot in here. You want to open something?
Hold on, let me pull up that so I can tell him about this little boy.
This is Cody Bigsby, 4 years old, out of Hampton, Virginia.
He was last seen in his father's home at 2 a.m. this morning, January 31st. Around 9 a.m., the police were called to the 100 block of Brantlet Drive for the missing juvenile. When they arrived at the scene, they spoke with Cody's father, who said was last seen in his home. Police described Cody as a 4-year-old boy, approximately 3 feet tall. He's last seen wearing black clothing and Spider-Man flip-flops. His parents are now persons of interest in his disappearance.
Well, if your kid's missing and you're the only one in the house,
I know.
And I'm going to say one thing other about Suzanne and Barry. In the 48-hour thing, they said the police told them that they wouldn't even known anything about the affair if they hadn't found the spy pen yet. That's something. She kept it that much of a secret. This gentleman right here is missing, and we're going to go down to the narrative on it. His car, the trunk's been painted black. It is he is still missing, and his car is missing. And there's 4 pages of this, isn't it?
Yeah, there's another page after that.
Okay, he's 25 years old, 5'11", 160, brown eyes, black hair. He's a black male. 12/30 of 95. Wow. He disappeared on December the 9th, 2021 at 12:11. So it's 11 minutes after 12.
And I have reached out to his mother to come on.
Yeah. Missing person last seen wearing a blue Billionaires Boys Club t-shirt, a sweatshirt, gray sweatpants, driving a 2019 silver Honda Civic, Texas license, Mike Delta Charlie 9337. Yeah.
Karen said they found I don't know which one she's talking about. I don't know if she's talking about that young man or the little boy. She said they found him in the trunk of his car.
Hmm.
I bet you she's talking about the baby we just showed, the 4-year-old.
Why don't you look it
Karen,
up one more time?
we look them up right before we come on, but I may have missed that one. What was his name again? The little boy.
Cody Bigsby. Big B.
B-I-G.
Bigsby. Uh, you got also Taylor Young of Houston, Texas, missing. Original post from his mom. I don't know where to start. My son was on his lunch break and didn't make it back to work or home. And this was December 19th. His phone was found behind a bank in the business near an ATM in Houston, Texas.
I don't
And
show that Bigsby's been found.
might be the other guy then.
Karen, let's see. No, he wasn't found. Who was found? Not the little boy. The young man that went missing was found in his trunk.
The one in the silver car.
The silver car. Oh gosh, that's awful. Yeah, not the little boy. It was towed to impound.
That's bad. And Dina brought this one up, which
this one is very sad.
Amber Alert out of Memphis, Tennessee. 2-year-old baby girl whose mother was found fatally shot Tuesday night. So the girl was found murdered, and they have searched her mother. This little baby's mother was found murdered, and they are trying to find the baby, and it's in Memphis.
And there's more pictures of her.
Yeah.
Gosh, that's awful. He disappeared on his lunch break, and somebody killed him and 2 days old.
Wow.
Put him in his trunk.
Let me tell you, I went to Walmart the other day. There was hardly anybody in the pharmacy, maybe 2 people. And I asked the pharmacist about where his help was. He said they just hired 2 people. They went out to lunch and never came back. So
this is you may have to enlarge the picture some to see the baby, but she is a precious little baby and 2 days old. I don't know.
It'd be very difficult to find this baby unless they have somebody that maybe
and you don't know
didn't look like she's pregnant, and all of a sudden she's got a brand new baby. I mean, you have to be some pretty people with some sharp eyes like that, or talk about how they just had a baby and they didn't have any type of never told anybody about it and never went to the hospital.
Well, also the baby may have a birthmark that could help.
Memphis police confirmed that Danielle Hole, 27, Kennedy's mother, was shot and killed near the vehicle, and her baby was missing. Kennedy was last seen wearing black and white polka dot onesie and pink pants.
I'm surprised that her mother was out with her at 2 days old. I mean,
you don't know what's going on.
No, I don't. But I agree, T.S. The mother may have been killed for the baby. It wouldn't be the first time.
It probably, though, it may have been killed like for drugs, and they didn't realize the baby was there, or they took the baby and there's a lot of evil in this world for sure. A lot of evil.
Is that all of them? Mm-hmm. Okay, so go back to the young man and let me. Taylor.
What, this guy?
Taylor. What's his last name?
Taylor Young.
Y'all, I'm sorry. We try to check everything before we come on.
I did check with let me see if I can upload it because I did copy it.
The one of him was just posted on the site that I go to a lot of times just today.
1 second here.
He was in the he disappeared weeks ago. They said 8 weeks ago.
Okay. I did check with Summer Wells. Nothing new there. You know, Orson twins. Nothing new there either. Michael Vaughn, though, they are officially calling it something I have been calling it for a while, an abduction. The little boy they call Monkey, 5 years old, blonde hair, blue eyes, last seen 6 p.m. Near the front yard on 7/27/2001. They believe he was abducted by someone in a car just like this one, a Honda Pilot, I think it is. Fruitville, Idaho. So this is a true, in my opinion, child abduction, and they pretty much snatched him while the car was seen in the area when he was snatched. And I'm wondering, of course, in that area where it is, I don't know where exactly how close to the border it is, but you got to wonder if they didn't go to the state police and run every Honda Pilot registered in the state, and then see if anybody had an arrest report or whatever. Honda Pilot of that year, year wise.
Maddie said, from I don't know who she's talking about here, but she says, from what I've seen on newsfeed, looks like she was on a back road and also seeing police on a ladder to a tree. Anyone else see this?
Who are you talking about?
I bet she's talking about the mother of the baby. Y'all, we're getting rain, rain, rain.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some of y'all are getting snow, snow, snow. I just said we're getting the wet snow, like the liquid snow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Michael Vaughn's mother. Are you talking about?
No, the baby's mom.
Baby's mom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel bad for all of Michael Vaughn's family because they were, the father was in there taking care of one baby. The mother was at work. The father, he basically had his hands full, and it's easy to see. I guess I didn't have any brothers and sisters. You all had a bunch of
Oh
them.
my gosh. I had 6 brothers, and I was supposed to be taking care of them, and 2 of them escaped to go streaking down the road. And when I say streaking, y'all remember about streaking in the 70s? Yeah, they were, of course, they were 5 and 7, so it wasn't that big of a deal, I guess, but they were streaking down the road. And yeah, you can't keep an eye on all of them. And I was 16 at the time, 15 at the time, I guess. Yeah.
Had your mind on boys.
No, I didn't. I had plenty of boys in the house to take care of. I didn't want any more boys.
No, but I thought me and you started dating when you were how?
When I turned 16, baby. I didn't know you. I got saved when I was 15 and asked God to send me a man that would love me my whole life, be faithful to me, and love my children because I knew I wanted to adopt. And just look what he sent me.
Oh, very cold here in Nebraska. We didn't get all the snow they predicted, but we could today. But Winter storm advisory doesn't end until 2 a.m. Wow. Where in Nebraska are you? Where are you on? Like in the true farm country of Nebraska, or where? I want to go through Nebraska. I haven't been to Nebraska.
We're not going to go through it. We're going to stop.
Well, that's what I'm saying, though. Enter into Nebraska.
We're going to enter into.
Western Panhandle. Are you on a farm or are y'all just kind of in the city? Scotts Bluff.
We
Wow.
had a grown-up streaker on our school playground. He kissed one of the teachers.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, that is so funny. We had, when I was in school, one of the kids whose dad was a preacher went streaking through the mall and ran through the plate glass door and ended up in the hospital.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mary. You should see us on our really good days.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know if I told y'all. Tommy and I play rummy. Y'all know what he wants me to do. He wants me to play.
Come
He
on.
wants
You
me
have
to
to tell
play with
everybody
my
that.
cards.
You have to tell
Hey,
everybody
stop.
that.
He wants to play with my cards face up so he can help me. I've beat him 57 games to 14, and he wants to help me. Ain't that funny?
Yeah.
We don't play like that.
Yeah. I hear you.
Karen says she lives in a town, not on a farm.
Okay.
Oh, I heard Nebraska's. Where's North Dakota's?
The wheat ocean. That's what I always heard they were. It's Nebraska and Kansas have oceans of wheat.
Well, we're headed west this year, y'all.
Yeah, we are going out west. We don't know where yet, but we are going. We don't know.
We don't know where we're going.
We don't know where yet.
We're gonna put the
we
RV,
haven't made up our mind yet.
We're gonna put the RV on autopilot.
Yeah.
Go to
So
the back.
we're going either. I wanted to kind of go through Nebraska and Kansas and to Oklahoma, see a buddy of mine.
No.
Colorado.
What you wanted to
Yellowstone,
do was
but
start in
I don't
Chicago
know.
and do Route 66.
Yeah, I did want to do Route 66, but I think I'm gonna.
There was a prairie fire that almost took our home a few days ago. Amber, gosh. Y'all got them prairie dogs out there. They some strange barking dogs. Cornhusker State, Tommy.
Yeah. I know. Corn and wheat.
Y'all, my hands hurt. Those of you that just joined, y'all want to see what I did?
Yeah, let me see if I can find this picture of her.
Whoops. See
her.
right there? And then look at this one. Whoopsie.
Let me try to find. Hold on a minute. Let me try to find this picture of her. Where are you?
Ride pics.
Where is it? Ride pics. Yeah, that's one of them. Hold on.
Let me show them this.
Hold on, just a minute. Okay.
All right, look. I can't figure out where the camera is. Look at that.
That's bad there.
That one hurts.
Yeah. Let me show you where she got that from.
Well, the first one, the one I showed you first,
that one, was her mid-fall.
I was trying to hold on to that. That I was trying to grab hold of that wooden thing and stop myself, and instead, I just fell over. It hurt.
Let me see. I haven't found the other picture where. Yeah, this. I was in the back of her, so I could see. I could see all of the. It had kind of slow motion, but I didn't actually get the other time she fell. She was doing something she wasn't supposed to be doing.
The other time I fell, I was attempting to do a live Instagram. Instead, My phone and everything went scattering across, and I fell again. And he didn't even come back to get me. He had already gone around the corner and didn't even
Well,
know
a girl
I fell.
told me. A girl told me that you had taken a tumble, and then I had to go around there and find her. Let me find the one that I came up on her. The last shot here. There it is.
I will tell y'all, I have been sore in the past 2 days than I can remember. I hurt in places that did not hit. I know, Mary. I'm worried about if I'd have gone through the rails and an alligator, because those are alligators in that water right there.
Yeah, but alligators are hibernating now.
Yeah, be my luck. I have one that wasn't hibernating.
And I told her she's getting older. She got to watch. She breaks something, break a hip or something.
Uh,
I don't know what this one. It's having a tough time downloading the last picture.
anyway,
But
the
here it is.
ride
This
was.
is when I came up with her. She's laying on the ground and she's looking at me. I'm on the bike. I said, "Are you okay?" I got that big camera on my. I got that big camera on my head.
And a smile on his face.
No, I
think that
wasn't.
was
I was
I
concerned.
think it. You know what I think that was? I think that was a yes. I got it on camera.
No.
That's what I think. Y'all, he was glad to get that on camera.
I am gonna put it in slow motion though when we do our film. You're gonna do it in slow motion.
Okay.
All right. Well,
Okay.
it was great. Oh goodness, what's that for?
Mary said I could hit you,
Oh, okay.
so I did. Thank you, Mary. That's the only time I get to hit him is when somebody says hit him.
Or you see a punch bug,
I know,
VW.
Karen. It is a great thing that I did not break an arm or a leg or a hip. Instead, it wasn't bad enough to do one hand. I had to mess up both hands, and that's the bad thing.
And they're deep. One of them's kind of deep.
Yeah, it's real deep, and it burns like heck. But I've been putting band-aids on them at night with Neosporin and then letting them air out in the daytime.
Probably need to let them air out all the time.
Oh, I can't do it. I can't do it at night because if I grab the covers or something, it'll hurt.
I know when I go to the doctor and we kind of go in together with to our doctor and she gives us our blood work results and everything, and I'll say something about what she needs to do, and the doctor will say, "Thank you, Dr. Green," but I'll think I'll give her my or "Thank you, Dr. Tommy." I think I'll do this. But anyway, we had our doctor just gave us full report, and we are healthy.
Well,
Said I'm a little overweight, but other than that, we are healthy.
well,
Except for you, you wasn't 100%. I was 100%, but you were not quite 100%.
see, y'all, he just loves telling my business. He just loves.
Yeah, it was
telling.
just minor for you, but
Oh, wait a minute. I have some of that stuff. Thank you. Oh, for rummy lessons. Somebody gave you $20 for rummy lessons.
thank you so much.
That I do, Sandra. I do have some of that. Oh, that liquid bandage hurts. That burns. I've got colloidal silver. It's in a liquid. I don't have it in a gel.
Thank you so much, BS. I appreciate that.
Hey, BS, that's a perfect name for what he's trying to get me to do. He really thinks that we ought to play cards face up so he can figure out how I play cards because it's not fair.
Yeah. Oh, you said yeah, Gulf Coast girl. I actually the doctor came in. She read out all these things that I don't have. She said that I had the kidneys of a 19-year-old. The cholesterol is
Jukes finally
perfect.
showed up.
Cholesterol is perfect. Everything. Hello, Jukes.
You'll have to go back and see the wounds that have been caused, Juke.
Yeah, not by me.
No,
not
he
by
didn't hurt me. No, he would never hurt me. Karen, I tell you, Karen, something that would help with the arthritis is drinking a juice every day, a fresh juice.
And that CBD cream really does. It does help. If you can find somebody that sells some replicable stuff that is good stuff. I put it on my back before I go to bed, and it does help. It
One of
does.
our videos on our other channel is about the hemp farm. They could order it from there.
Yeah. We have a friend that they grew up kind of around us, and now they're married and got a hemp farm in Tennessee. And we did a story about it on our other channel. And they sell this cream, sell a lot of it online. It's called Nichols Hemp Farm, I think it is.
ZZ, you don't think that liquid skin burns? Because man, it burnt me.
Pineapple helps inflammation. Is that like drinking pineapple juice, eating pineapple, or is that rubbing it on you? I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering.
Y'all, he's gonna have pineapple on his brain now. Oh Lordy, don't get me started.
Yeah, get the salve, Karen. It's just they get the salve. That's what I do. I've had no luck, like taking the liquid CBD. No luck, but I do use the salve.
Okay, ZZ, it may depend on the kind. The kind I got, I gave it to my dad because when I put it on something, whoo, it burned. But now, see, I got both knees skint, a foot, the ankle skint, and another ankle bruised. So I could.
You just falling apart.
Well, this was just in 3 falls.
I know it. You just falling apart.
Well, Maggie tripped me the 3rd time.
You said you wouldn't gonna tell that.
I know. She didn't mean to. It was dark, and we were both trying to get home.
Look at her. She got her head up underneath the chair.
Maddie said, "Drink and eat. Maybe rub it on for fun."
Don't go there. I don't even want to talk about that.
ZZ says some does.
You're welcome, Karen. Try it. I have. It's very good for the salve. It's very good. I'll rub it on my knee if it's hurting. I'll rub it on my back, and it really feels better.
Okay, y'all remember, if you have someone in your area, your state, or whatever, your country, because some of y'all are overseas, if you have anybody in your area that comes up
we
missing,
miss our people from Africa and
you interrupted.
I'm sorry.
Okay, if you have anybody in your area that comes up missing, please send us an email with some information. We'll do the research and we will do our best to get them on here. Okay, and I've reached out to a couple of moms. Hopefully we'll have some parents, some family members on soon for some of these people that are missing. It's really sad.
It's something they added to the what we can do.
What are you doing?
It's the music that I can put on here. They've added it.
So you decided to music me out?
No.
Oh Lord, you just like a rubber necklace. I have to put the paint. The cold weather makes it worse.
Yeah, cold weather does make it worse.
Well, thanks y'all for putting up with 2 old people who are a little bit on the crazy
check
side.
out our a little note.
Yeah,
our channel over there, the our 1 Million Mile Road Trip channel, the RV channel. We're up to 800. We were up to 816 subscribers. We lost 1. I think it's because we had some issues with the way our videos were uploading. I'm trying to solve that now, but we have over 800 subscribers now, which is very nice to report. And we just did some videos on model that are coming up. Let me see which ones did we do so far? The ones we did. We did a bunch of stuff on Instagram too about our dogs and the cats and stuff, and the cat and dogs.
Move that. Listen.
And
y'all are gonna love this. Okay, I'm gonna tell y'all this because we're gonna put it on the other channel, but I gotta tell y'all this. What are you doing? I can't
go
even
ahead.
See. Tommy went and had coffee with 2 of his old police buddies, and they told him, "You want to grow your channel really fast? You really want you want 1 million views? You put a blonde in a bikini on your site." And so when he came and told me that, I died laughing, and I said, "I've got the perfect thing." I went to Walmart and I bought Maggie a yellow polka dot bikini,
$1 bikini.
and I bought Maggie a bikini. Well,
Gracie.
Gracie a bikini. Bought Maggie a bikini, and then I bought Moses some swim shorts. We haven't done his pictures yet, but we've done the pictures for Maggie, and we put her out there as a to the song "Itsy Bitsy Teeny Weeny Yellow Polka Dot Bikini"
on the short
Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram.
It is so cute, y'all. I'm telling you, I cannot wait for him to tell his buddies we put the blonde in the bikini.
But we've let me see some of the ones when I was going back over here to see hold on just a second.
You stretching? Okay, it's time to say good night.
I will. I just want to tell them about.
Yes, I thought it was perfect too because I knew what they were talking about. But you know what? Not everything is about sex and selling. So I thought Maggie I did one better because she was in a topless polka dot bikini because
and
we
also,
couldn't get the top around
we did
her.
a video on her when she had her IV. She had some type of IV with 20 vitamins, B vitamins, and C. And then we did one on some RV parks down this area. And there's a bunch of shorts
Strawberry
on.
Wine, hadn't seen you in a while. Hey, if you're not feeling well, I would suggest you find a place in your area that has got IV infusions in which you can go and you can get vitamins.
I don't like needles, so
he won't do it, but I did. I'm going again tomorrow. IV infusions where they do 25,000 milligrams of vitamin C. They do a B complex. They do a B12. They do magnesium, and then they do one for aging and detoxifying your lungs and everything. One in Pensacola is called the Drip Parlor, and the one in Foley is called ENGR space Wellness. And you can go and get that, and the 25,000 milligrams of vitamin C is going to make you feel so good. It is pathetic.
All righty. Well, we are super, super glad we saw everybody tonight, and thank you for coming over here and listening to us.
And Karen, Maggie didn't like her bikini.
No, she didn't like it at all. And check out our other channel and subscribe if you would. We are trying to get it up there over 1,000. It's good. Even if we get it over 1,000, we won't be monetized for a while because our hours are low. Okay. But we'll work on it.
Gulf Coast Girl, where are you located? What city? She needs prayer because she's recovering from COVID.
Ooh,
yeah. Okay, Gulf Coast Girl, tell me where you're located. Biloxi. Okay, so you're not far from Mobile. You know, we were supposed to get together when we were down here. You know that, don't you? And you had COVID and we had COVID. So look around and see if there's a place to get that IV infusion because I'm telling you, it will help you recover from COVID faster. It did me. We hope to see y'all all again next week. Or sooner. Depends on
you'll be in our prayers there, Gulf Coast Girl.
Yeah, and if you think you can meet us in Mobile one day, let us know. Because
COVID free, please.
Well, she's getting over it. She's recovering.
She has to hit me. Just husband abuse, spousal abuse.
No. If I wanted husband abuse, I would fix you food that would just really fix you up.
Don't talk about it. All right. Y'all have a great night. We love y'all. God bless you.
And we're praying for y'all.